Last season, I began experimenting with different camping shelter options. In the past, I had always been a tent camper. Now I'm giving hammocks a try. In this video, I'll show the pros and cons of hammock vs tent camping to help you decide which shelter option is best for your style of camping. Hammocks are more comfortable than tents. Hammocks create a supportive and lump-free surface to sleep on. They cradle the body and offer support for the back and neck in a way that the ground can't. You fall asleep faster and sleep deeper in a hammock. Hammocks help you get a higher quality night of sleep. You'll wake up feeling more rested and full of energy. Hammocks are legal in more places. Many jurisdictions have laws against pitching tents in the city. These laws prevent homeless people from camping in city parks. Most cities don't have any laws against hanging a hammock. Hammocks sleep cooler. Being out in the open allows you to enjoy a cool breeze. For this reason, hammocks are ideal for camping in tropical climates and during the summer. Condensation isn't a problem in a hammock. Hammocks allow more airflow, so condensation doesn't build up like it does in a tent. Moisture evaporates away, even when humidity is high. No more waking up in a soggy sleeping bag or having condensation drip down on you while hammock camping. Visibility is better in a hammock. If someone or something is approaching while you're laying down, you can easily sit up and look out and see what or who it is. You can also look up and see the stars. Hammocks have multiple uses. You can get use out of your hammock even when you're not camping. Bring it to the beach, park, a barbecue, or use it in your backyard. Finding a campsite is easier with a hammock in some destinations. This entirely depends on the terrain where you're camping. For example, in a forest, it may be easier to find a suitable campsite. You need properly spaced trees, rocks, or some kind of stationary objects to hang your hammock from. Hammocks just don't work everywhere. In the desert, in a new forest where the trees are too small, or in a sparsely treed forest, finding a campsite can be nearly impossible. You have to sleep alone in a hammock to get the best night's sleep. You want to sleep in your hammock by yourself. Two-person hammocks are available, but they are pretty snug. You would only want to use one with someone you're very close to. Hammocks are not standalone shelters. To be prepared for all conditions, you'll need a tarp and stakes, an underquilt or sleep mat, and a bug net. After you add these additional items to your pack, a hammock sleep system weighs and costs as much as a comparable tent. Hammocks sleep colder. If you plan to camp in weather below about 6 degrees, about 15 degrees C, you will need some kind of insulation under your body to keep you warm at night. Your sleeping bag won't keep the underside of your body warm because the insulation is compressed by your body weight. Hammocks offer less privacy. You're always outside in the open in a hammock. There is nowhere to change clothes, organize gear, clean your body, or just get away from people temporarily. In the backwoods, this doesn't really matter because no one is around anyway. Hammocks can be uncomfortable. Some people just don't like the feel of sleeping in a hammock. The rocking motion bothers some. Others find the sleeping position uncomfortable. You can't get completely flat in a hammock. Your head and feet will always be somewhat elevated. People who toss and turn in their sleep sometimes find hammocks to be too restrictive. You can bring your gear inside with you to keep it safe and dry. It's nice to be able to sleep with your fragile electronics and valuables right next to you to protect them from the rain and theft. Tents allow you to camp in more environments. No trees are required to pitch a tent. Freestanding models don't even require stakes. Tents offer a private space to do stuff in a tent. You have space to change your clothes, organize gear, clean yourself, fix something, etc. This is great for rainy days or when you're camping in a busy campground. You have a dry room where you can hang out and be alone. Tents keep you warmer even though the material is thin. Tents offer some insulation. The enclosed space traps heat. Tents also provide protection from the wind so you don't have to deal with the wind chill factor. Tents are less comfortable than hammocks. Something about sleeping on the ground is just inherently uncomfortable. If you set up your tent on top of a root or rock or on a slight slope, you won't get a good night of sleep. Tents are fragile. Poles can bend or break. You can't compress a tent as much because you can damage the zippers. Holes can wear in the floor if you don't use a ground sheet. Quality of sleep is lower in tents. In a tent, you are sleeping on the ground. Tents also lack the cocoon-like support and rocking motion that make hammocks so relaxing and comfortable. Condensation is worse in tents. You will experience condensation in all tents. There is no avoiding it. How bad it gets depends on the temperature, humidity, tent design, the terrain, and your proximity to a body of water, and more. Visibility is poor in tents. Some of my most memorable nights were spent staring up at the stars. In a tent, you're stuck in a little room where you can't really see out. You can sleep without the rainfly, but your vision is still obstructed by the bug netting. Tents can get hot when the sun comes up and starts baking down on your tent. It turns into an oven. Sometimes I have to get up when the sun rises when I prefer to get a couple more hours of sleep. It just gets too hot in a tent. Hammocks. Being open air. Stay cooler. A nice breeze can make all the difference. You can't fly with a tent and a carry-on bag if you often fly to your camping destination. It's important to know that many airlines don't allow metal tent stakes and poles in the cabin. Sometimes you slide by and sometimes security hassles you. Tents are legal in fewer places. Many cities have laws prohibiting the use of tents within city limits to prevent the formation of tent cities. Often there is no law against hammocks. If you set up in a park, you can just say that you're taking a nap and not camping. This is completely reasonable. We are going to end this video right away. If you have any query or information to share, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching.